Guys, deluded, thank you for having me. I'm not going to be here long and take up much of your time, but Sokratis, I think we've got to respect him and hail him up a bit more. And I say this lightly because things can change for any player. But you guys know me. If you're playing well, if you're playing poorly, I think it deserves to be spoke about. Like I said, it's a long season, and I feel on a general basis in the Premier League of football as a whole, too many conclusions are being made for what is really just over a month played of football. We need to talk about these things in May. So Sokratis still has to continue these levels of performance, but I think we have to respect him a bit more. I don't feel he's playing amazingly prime Cannavaro, Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, and that. I mean, he still fills me with some nerves, but personally, I think he's been alright this season. Shaky in the first couple of weeks. Sorry, I'm not saying it's been perfect because off the top of my head, if I review some of the player performances, I did think he played quite nervy, but definitely in recent weeks, in the last 2-3 weeks, I think he's adjusted his look head and I say this lightly, but he's looked head and shoulders as our best centre half. Not that that's easy to do at Arsenal, but definitely prior to the season started, you were thinking, who is our best centre half pairing? Damn right, who is our best centre half and things like that. And I think it's actually Sokratis now. I still maintain we need a centre half, but I think it's Sokratis at this moment in time on the basis that he looks the most competent. He stays rigid and stuck to his task defensively. He's quicker than we all thought. He sniffs danger. He's better on the right hand side, clearly, of the centre half pairing. He's got good playmaking abilities, ball playing. Not the best, will never be the best. We'll be a steady Eddie at best, but that's what we needed. It's not about reputation, it's about competency. What I like about him as well, obviously he tries to play football and play the way Emery wants them to play, but he's not. He is one of the players not afraid to put his foot through the ball and set up defensively. You even saw him bollocking Mustafi for that. And part of me feels I don't want to praise Koscielny too much because it's not the Koscielny. Koscielny's probably last good season is probably 2015, maybe even 2016. So it's not the competent Koscielny, but I think him and Koscielny might work a bit better than Mustafi because Mustafi does. I'm not saying Sokratis is perfect because there's been games Sokratis has been worse than Mustafi, but Mustafi, for me, it's like Mustafi. You're not really confident with him as your centre half pairing because you're seeing, like I'm seeing it from Sokratis. You're seeing mistakes. You're seeing mistiming of the ball, putting him into danger with touches and passes he probably doesn't need to do or take. So we'll see what he's saying. But Koscielny's probably not the centre half person he is. So I'm not going to say it's going to be a good pairing, but Sokratis probably plays a bit better with Koscielny. Koscielny probably prefers to be on the right hand side, but he can play on the left. And probably if you're Rob Holding, it's about being patient and things like that. But maybe I can see why Chambers went out on loan and not you, on the basis that you can play on the left hand side of the centre half pairing, and maybe eventually Emery will partner Sokratis and Holding because they play better in my opinion together because it allows Sokratis to go to the right hand side and you see his passing improve and just feel more comfortable. Holding seems, for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure he would say he's better on the right hand side, but he seems to be the most competent centre half, probably excluding Monreal if you move him across on the left hand side of the centre half pairing. He's decent passing there. He's not. I mean, he's not both footed. He's not Santi Cazorla, but he can use his left foot and he can play out of awkward positions with his left foot. So I do think, depending on Mustafi's form, that might be an avenue Emery tries to explore or goes down in regards to the centre half pairing, and I can see probably why that's why Chambers went out on loan. And I must admit I rate Sokratis a bit more because I never once said he's a bad defender, but he did. There's no way around it. Hindsight can teach everybody a lesson, but it was an underwhelming signing considering the crisis defensively Arsenal have had. He wasn't really someone to galvanise the team and stuff like that, but he's done all right. And at least at this moment in time, when I look at our recruitment, I said then in the summer that on the basis of addressing areas that we needed to address, it's a good season, but some of the personnel was underwhelming, excluding Guendouzi and Torreira because I spoke about them. It looks, I have to rate the window a bit more because we've got a competent centre half. Torreira and Guendouzi both rough around several edges, but they look like they can be good players for us. The only question mark really over the recruitments is Leno, to be fair. Liechtenstein looks like good backup, or even if I look at the game in Europa League, he is a bit shaky though, because could say he was at fault for two of the goals, or had a part to play. But yeah, man, I feel that personally, I don't know if anyone agrees, but for me personally, I got to hail up Sokratis. It's down to him to continue this and things like that. But he's what, 29, 30 years of age. He needed to hit the ground running, and he seems to be doing that. And I still believe we need a centre half. We need a very good centre half, a competent centre half, or someone with scope to grow into that. Him and Sokratis could be that partnership or whatever. So yeah, or if I'm Rob Holding, I'd really fancy my chances of being Sokratis' first choice centre half pairing. I mean, at this moment in time, it's just nice to know that we can at least say there's a centre half which looks head and shoulders above the rest at this moment in time. It's down to him to continue it, because at a point all the Arsenal defenders will look as rubbish as each other. But at least at this moment in time, he deserves some praise in it. So he's definitely turning it around. Obviously, I can't go too OTT because if I look at the Chelsea and City games, if I remember correctly, I'd have to watch it again, so I'd be lying to you. But I don't feel he covered himself in any glory if I remember my own player ratings. So it's down to him to keep improving. But so far, so good, man. And what I like about him is actually his recovery tackles and things. Just sniffing danger is what I like the most. He's a bit proactive. We haven't seen anything close to a proactive centre half, a pessimistic centre half, in the sense that he expects his partner to get beaten, or he expects the fullback to get beaten, so he's there to mop it up. So yeah, too many centre halves at this club have been more concerned with playing forward than they're actually defending for many a year. But anyways, guys, DG, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. I'm out. Thank you for watching and rocking.